to formulate rules of orderly human conduct. Only because of conflicts do we need rules. Now, but even in the Garden of Eden, some conflicts are still possible because some goods are scarce even in the Garden of Eden. There exist two scarce goods in the Garden of Eden. One is the physical body of a person. Each of us has only one. We do not have an unlimited supply of physical bodies. And secondly, of course, the standing room where my body rests. So even in the Garden of Eden, it is possible that Robinson Crusoe wants to do something to Friday's body, or Friday wants to do something to Robinson Crusoe's body. I do not have to describe what the possibilities are in this regard, but it should be pretty clear that that possibility exists. And obviously they cannot both occupy the same space. If I want to stand on one place, the other person has simply no room to put his feet down at exactly the same place. So accordingly, even in the Garden of Eden, we would need rules that make peaceful cooperation between Robinson Crusoe and Friday possible, and these rules would be rules laying down who has exclusive control over these scarce goods, over those things over which conflicts can possibly arise. And in the real world, of course, which is characterized by all-around scarcity, not just bodies and standing room is scarce, almost everything is scarce, we need rules allowing us to avoid otherwise unavoidable conflicts that determine who has exclusive control over what and who has not exclusive control over what. Now, if we go into the history of social and political thought, there have been many proposals made and offered as solutions to this problem of social order. Again, this problem of social order is the problem, how do we make peaceful relations, peaceful cooperation with humans possible, given the scarcity of objects and the possibility of conflicts over scarce objects. And the fact that many proposals have been made has led many people to believe that there exists no single correct solution to this problem of social order. But in fact, there does exist a correct solution to this, and I have not invented this solution. The solution has been discovered hundreds, actually thousands of years before it has been reformulated, refined, and so forth. But as soon as I will explain it, you will recognize that it is a very, very simple, solution. The solution is basically the idea of private property. Now let me explain first the solution applied to the Garden of Eden, where the scarcity exists only with regard to scarcity of physical bodies and standing room. What rules would people most likely accept as fair and just rules in order to avoid conflict in the Garden of Eden? And then following that, I'll explain the rules that apply in the real world with all-around scarcity. Now, in the Garden of Eden, the solution is simply provided by a rule that says everybody may place or move his own body wherever he pleases, provided only that no one else is already standing there and occupying the same space. Everybody is the exclusive owner of its own body, can do with his own body whatever he wants. If somebody else wants to do something to my body, then he needs my permission. And if I want to do something to somebody else's body, then I need his permission. I don't want to go into great detail, but you see the alternatives that you could think of would immediately lead to conflicts. And again, recall, the purpose of rules is to avoid conflicts regarding scarce resources. Rules that do not avoid conflicts are not norms or rules, they are perversions. The purpose of rules is to avoid conflict, not to create it. Now, outside of the Garden of Eden, that is in the realm of all-around scarcity, the solution is provided by 4 logically interrelated rules. The first rule is, as I already said, that would also hold in the Garden of Eden, every person is the private, exclusive owner of his own physical body. You could simply ask, who else, if not Robinson Crusoe, should be the owner of Crusoe's own physical body? Should Friday be the exclusive owner of Robinson Crusoe's body? Or should Crusoe and Friday own the body jointly? And the answer is, of course, that the alternatives do not avoid conflicts, they make conflicts permanent. And the second rule is, every person is a private owner of all nature-given goods that he has perceived as scarce and put to some use before anybody else has done this. And again, without going into a deep, sophisticated justification of these rules, which I can also give, I only appeal to your intuition. Who else, if not the first person putting something that was previously unowned to some use, should be the owner? The second person? The first and the second person together, jointly? But that would automatically, again, lead to conflict, whereas if the first one is made the owner of it, he does so without running into any conflict because nobody else claimed these goods before. He was the first one, he appropriated them without any conflict. Anybody who comes later and then wants to have it would automatically, of course, run into conflict. And again, as I explained, the purpose of norms is to avoid conflicts, not to generate them. The third rule is implied already in the first 2. The third one is, every person who, with the help of his body and his originally appropriated goods, that is, goods that were previously owned, were taken possession of by the first time, produces now new products, thereby becomes the proper owner of these products, the exclusive owner of these products, provided only that in the process of production he does not physically damage the property of other individuals. And the fourth rule, again implied already in the previous 3, is once a good has been first appropriated or produced, ownership in it can be acquired only by means of a voluntary contractual transfer of its property title from a previous owner to a later owner. Again, let me just emphasize that anybody who just suggests different rules suggests essentially rules that do not avoid conflict but create conflict, and that we in our daily lives, in our daily private lives, by and large adhere to these rules and recognize them as, of course, what else could people possibly accept as fair